Yo, what's up guys, your boy Jumbo102, and just to let you guys know that I am officially back, so that means I'm going to be posting a lot of videos throughout the next few weeks, so yeah guys, I hope you guys are happy about that, and if you are new, subscribe, and yeah, without further ado, let's do the F1 2014 Belgian Grand Prix review. And just to let you guys know that I'm not going to be doing practice because you know, it's not as interesting as qualifying in the race to you guys. So without further ado, I'll move to qualifying. So qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix started in very damp conditions, and yeah, the cars went on the track. No real dramas really happened in Q1 that I could remember, to be honest. But we did see Hulkenberg out of Q1. I think it was just wrong. I think it was just wrong. Like, I think it was just wrong place, wrong time for him. You know, I think the conditions really didn't go in his favor, to be honest. And as a result, he was out of Q1. So yeah, unlucky for him. Then into Q2, nothing much, no incidents I would say, to be honest. Apart from Button and Vettel almost getting out, going out of Q2, but they did manage to sneak their way into Q3, and as a result, the usual suspects were out of Q3, so out of Q2, I mean. So yeah, and then into Q3, it was a straight out dogfight between Hamilton and Rosberg for pole position. Hamilton on his first run made a mistake. He basically locked his brakes, I mean, and ran wide and lost a heap amount of time, which cost him a shot of beating Rosberg's time that he set, I believe, before Hamilton did. So yeah, and then as a result, Hamilton came into the pits, changed his tyres, changed to the new intermediate tyres. And whilst he was doing that, Rosberg went a little bit quicker. I believe he did like a 2:05. So yeah, and then into the last run, the all important last run, Hamilton ran wide. He locked his brakes up, ran wide, and lost a little bit of time. But he did manage to beat Rosberg by a tenth in the first sector, but going into the Prix section, he locked his brakes up again, and that eventually cost him a substantial amount of time, costing him a chance to get in pole position there, which was unfortunate. And yeah, as a result, Rosberg got pole position. So yeah, unfortunate for Hamilton, but you know, that's racing at the end of the day, so yeah. And then into the race, we saw Fernando Alonso getting his car worked on by team personnel after the 15-second warning, which was basically under the 15-second warning, in which you have to not do work on your car, otherwise you'll get a penalty. Which was exactly the case for Alonso. Alonso, as a result, got a 5-second penalty, which he took on one of his pit stops during the race. And then also as well, before the start, Hamilton overshot his grid box, so he had to pull a little bit back. He had to reverse a little bit back. He got no penalty for it, thankfully. So yeah, and then at the start of the race, Hamilton got a really good start. He managed to get ahead of Rosberg going into La Source. Vettel made a beautiful pass on Rosberg to take second place, and also had a good go at getting past Hamilton down the outside, which didn't work. He locked his brakes up and ran through the runoff to drop down into third place. And then this was the big talking point. This was what everyone was like all chatting on. Lap 2 out of 44. Rosberg closing on Hamilton Rosberg trying to go around the outside of Hamilton, going into the first part of Le Mans. But going into the second part of Le Mans, Rosberg ran into Hamilton, which sent Hamilton into a puncher and dropped him right down, almost to the back of the grid. Unlucky for Hamilton. I believe it was Rosberg's fault, because Hamilton had the line to keep his position. He was entitled to the racing line, and Rosberg should have backed out and lived to fight another day. But instead, he committed to a space that really wasn't there, and I just think it was a stupid incident. I think it's pure clumsiness, you know, to be honest, because Rosberg wasn't thinking straight. He wasn't using his head. He wasn't thinking. All he was thinking was, take him on this corner. Take him on this corner. It's now or never. It's now or never. I feel like he's basically. I feel like he was basically saying that in his head, because, you know, he was never thinking of backing out. So, yeah, just stupid incident. I mean, that should have been a penalty for sure, because he took Hamilton out of the race. You might say, oh, there was no big contact. But he did take someone out of the race. He put Hamilton way down the field. So, in my opinion, that should have been a penalty. You know, at least time penalty for sure. So, oh no, that's just pure unluckiness for Hamilton. I mean, what is he got to do? What has he got to do to avoid any unluckiness, you know? I mean, it's just, nothing's going right for him. And, yeah, let's hope Monza turns out well for him. And, yeah, so as a result, he dropped down to 20th. Apparently, and also as well, the floor got a bit damaged as Hamilton was limping back to the pits. So, as a result, and then later on he did retire from the race. I think it was just pure, I think it was just from anger, just pure from the damage as well. So, yeah, unlucky for Hamilton. Let's hope for a better weekend in Monza for him. So, yeah, as a result, Rosberg had a bit of damage to his front wing. That forced him to pit and change his front wing, which as a result put him behind Raikkonen, I believe, out on the track. And as a result as well, and also as well, there was some tyre debris. On the car, on the front of the car, which was hanging via the little aerials on the front of the car, which Rosberg tried to do on the Kemmel Straight, but he failed, and as a result had to really get used to that on the front of his vision whilst he was trying. But he managed to handle it really well, and as a result, it did go away eventually. So yeah, he was all right from that after that. And then, yeah, after that, another thing as well, Alonso tried to go around the outside of Magnussen, and then that really infuriated him a little bit. He raised his hand up to Magnussen, which I believed he should have done, because, you know, because Magnussen had every right to use that line to defend his position, and I just think Alonso was just being a crybaby, to be honest, because there was no contact. If there was contact, yeah, maybe it could have been Magnussen's fault, but there was never contact. So, yeah, I don't see it as Magnussen's fault, to be honest. So, yeah, and then later on during the race, Raikkonen got up to second, which is good. Good to see him beating Alonso. So yeah, and also getting right up in the sharp end. We've never seen him right up in the sharp end for a while. Probably not since, I don't know. Probably not since 2000 last year. Probably not since last year when he had that win. No, probably not since last year. I can't think of no, probably not since Hungary, I believe. Maybe Hungary, yeah. So good to see him in the sharp end there. And yeah, after that, what else happened? Sorry. Yeah. After that, nothing much really happened in the middle. I can't remember any specific things that happened in the middle of the race, to be honest. So I'll skip to the last part of the race. So yeah, as well, so yeah, in the last part of the race, Rosberg pitted for his final stop. He did make a 3-stopper. A lot of people were speculating that Rosberg were doing a double bluff on Ricciardo, as Rosberg was about 3 seconds off, Ricciardo going into Rosberg's last stop. But eventually he did have to pit. Also, another thing. Oh, yeah, I've just remembered as well. Rosberg did lock up his brakes. Rosberg locked up his brakes, which gave him a vibration, which forced him to pit. But it was all good because he did get himself back. He did get himself back into play, which was good. It was just because he was trying to fight. He was trying to overtake Vettel, as Vettel was moving left and right to cover his position. So yeah, Rosberg had to pit, and as a result, that made Ricciardo 20 seconds off Rosberg, and all basically Rosberg had to do was pull the 20 seconds back, get ahead of Ricciardo, and win the race. That was his mission for the last 9 laps of the race, which he did successfully for a little bit, until Ricciardo found some extremely good pace. I don't know where he found it, but he saved it at the right time to defend from Rosberg's attack, and as a result made Rosberg's mission to close up on Ricciardo very harder. And also as well, we saw a good battle. We saw a good battle between, which started with, we saw a good battle between Alonso, Magnussen, Button and Vettel, which all started because of back markers, which was more specifically Ericsson and Max Chilton, who were battling hard. I don't know what position that was for, but I think it was like 20th or so. So yeah, and they battled really hard. Button tried to go around the outside of Magnussen, but Magnussen pushed Button off, going out of turn 8, and allowed Vettel to take the position off Button. I think that was for 5th, I believe. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, they did jostle hard. In the end, on the last lap, Alonso ran into Vettel, and as a result, he lost a substantial amount of downforce, which dropped him out of the battle for P5, I believe. And also as well, Bottas got ahead of Raikkonen in the last remaining laps of the race, which was good. Yeah, good for the team as well. And yeah, in the end, it was Ricciardo that took the victory, took the Belgian Grand Prix victory. And yeah, very deserving victory. He drove massively well. And Rosberg, like I said, he drove good, except for that little incident between Hamilton and Bottas. A great job, great drive from him. Showing the Williams that they have, showing the Williams' strong assets of their speed, showing the paddock their strongest assets during the race. And yeah, it was a particularly good race. It was a particularly good race, except for that little incident there. But yeah, good race. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm sorry if it was very mixed. Like, I'm sorry if it was all over the place. I mean, you know, I'm just trying to remember all the specific things that happened during the weekend, so apologies if I miss out some bits and pieces. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. It's your boy Jeremy 8. I'm out. Peace.